Hey y'all, it's Infinite Enzo from Knox Knife Mods. Thank you so much for stopping by. And tonight we are going to do a watch collection video, if you probably didn't already guess. To be totally honest with y'all, Walsh and I were talking and we're like, oh gosh, we got to get a video up for Monday. What's something that I can knock out pretty quick? And that was, I was thought, I'll do a watch collection video. I can knock that out in one shot. Maybe some of y'all will enjoy it. I know watches and knives aren't the biggest crossover. But I've been talking watches a little bit on this channel. You might have caught some of my videos on that. Anyway, guys, I'm going to try to just get through this pretty quick. Just give you guys a glimpse of some of these, tell you why I like them, and yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so first off, we're going to start with what I'm wearing here. I'm Schwarzkopfing, as you can see. Our first one up here is the G-Shock GA 2000. I believe that is the correct nomenclature here. And awesome G-Shock. I love G-Shocks. Very attractive design. It's obviously kind of based off the Royal Oak, to the point that people kind of call this one the Cassioak. Fun little watch. Keep moving, guys. I'm going to make this quick. On the other wrist, this is usually what is on my right wrist, Apple Watch. I honestly don't know what generation this Apple Watch is, but it has been super useful. It tells you a whole bunch of information really quick. Keeps asking me for my passcode here, which I'm not going to show on the screen. Anyway, yeah, it just gives you a whole bunch of information really quick. It's very useful as like a wrist computer. I've heard nothing fancy use that term. So yeah, great secondary watch is how I view it. Now we're going to get into the heavy hitters here. We're going to start off with, let's go back out for this real quick, my Zodiac, which is my favorite watch. This was a grail when I got it. I'm so pleased to get it. And here it is. It's a Zodiac Seawolf. I have a few other Zodiacs, which we'll see as well. But yeah, this one is definitely my favorite. This is the first gen of the Seawolf reissues. This is the 9251. It's got an STP 111 movement in it, which is based off an ETA 2824. Super reliable movement. However, I have found these Seawolves have issues with the diving bezels. You're not going to be able to tell here, but they eventually will, after too much use, they will actually kind of pop off a spring, and so it'll just spin around freely. And the problem with these is that they're not nearly as modifiable as like a Seiko bezel, so I took it to get fixed by a professional, and instead now I've got this kind of weird rickety bezel. It still works, so whatever, and I'm gonna love this watch forever no matter what, so I don't care. But yeah, that's my Zodiac Seawolf. I do dive, by the way, but I probably never will dive this watch just because it's too much of a grail. It's got way too much sentimental value. Like, I was wearing this watch when my son called me dad for the first time, so you get my point. All right, let's go to the big hitter number 2 here. This is a Squall. Awesome stuff from Squall when you buy a watch from them. This was a 5-year anniversary gift from my wife. They come with this really cool watch roll. Gotta love it. But yeah, super attractive Squall, the 1521. It's a very classic design. Squall used to make cases for a whole bunch of different brands. I think at one point they made a case for Rolex. No, it wasn't Rolex. It was Blancpain, I believe. But yeah, super attractive case designs. Look at that. Very cool 70s aesthetic. Yeah, just an absolute stunner. I wear this one a ton, just as much as my Seawolf. But yeah, the Squall 1521, I believe that is an ETA 2824 inside of this. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not big on technical specs. Yeah, great watch. By the way, while we're here, size on these two, this one I believe is 42 millimeters diameter, and this one is 40. They both wear exceptionally well. Okay, moving on. All right, let's start with, this is kind of my go-to everyday watch case. Walsh got this for me, and I love it. It's perfect size, because typically I have about 6 different watches that I rotate out pretty frequently, and yes, it's the perfect size for that. Keep them all in here. First up, we're going to show a gift off from my father-in-law. He got this for me for my birthday. This is a Certina DS Blue Ribbon Diver. very awesome quartz dive watch. I think this is like 300 meters water resistant. 330 meters. Okay, cool. Oh, by the way, yeah, sorry. I need to include that information for the squall. This one's 500 meters, which is absolutely insane. And the Zodiac is 200 meters, which is, you know, all you really need is 200 meters. But it's cool to have these super deep divers. Anyway, this one I believe is coming out around like 42 millimeters or so. Great little bezel on it. It's a little bit light. But yeah, it's a really cool watch. I love the design aesthetic, the very tanky kind of profile that it has. This is an aftermarket bracelet, but I think it suits it. But yeah, excuse me, that was the Certina DS Blue Ribbon. I'm going to do a video on a few of these later about high value quartz watches, and this one will definitely be in it. If I haven't already said, guys, most of my collection is divers just because I do try to get a couple dives in a year. This is my first Father's Day gift, a Seiko turtle. I've done some modding to it, and actually some of my first videos on this channel were modding this watch. Got a cool, what's the word I'm looking for? Loomed sapphire bezel insert here from LCBI. The interior of the watch, the dial is all stock. Put in a new crown because I dove this one in Destin, and a few weeks after the dive I noticed water droplets forming on the inside of the watch, and I thought, oh my god, I've ruined this watch. So I took the crown out. I found out the gasket had just totally been destroyed on the crown. So I must have dove, even though it was screwed in, I must have dove with a bad gasket. Anyway, replaced the crown, got new gaskets on, and it still ticks. It's not ticking right now, obviously, but it's just a die-hard watch, man. You can't kill a Seiko. It's insane. They're so good for what you pay for them. Well, maybe not so much these days. They've crept their prices up, but back when the turtle was more affordable, you know, you get a 4R35 movement for around 300 bucks, maybe less. Great watch. Another G-Shock here. This was a gift from my good buddy, Lindsay, who was, or still is actually, in the Navy. Very cool guy, and he ordered this G-Shock for me from the PX, and yeah, it's a cool one. It's obviously a DW 5600 square. I may have messed up some of these G-Shock nomenclatures. Let me know if I did. But yeah, it's just a classic styling. I really like the blue highlights on this one, and I got an aftermarket blue strap to kind of match those blue highlights. I wear this one quite a lot. It's my go-to workout watch. Oh, now that I got the GA2 2000 or whatever this is, I got this one this Father's Day, and they're both kind of neck and neck. I really like this one a lot. It's got a lot of cool functions, but this one does as well, and you always know that you can rely on G-Shock for super functional watches that wear extremely well. All right, moving right along here. This is a Maritac GMT. I can't remember the full name of it. It's a quartz watch, and it is an awesome little quartz watch with a Swiss movement. Yeah, it's a great size. I think it's a 38, and let's see, it's titanium. It's the whole case is titanium. It comes on a NATO strap with titanium fittings. However, I found this bracelet online for a different brand, but it's a full titanium bracelet, and it works wonderfully. I want to say the water resistance, it's 100 meters, okay, and you've got a sapphire crystal as well. These are really hard to get. They come in stock randomly, but when they're in stock, I want to say they're around like the 180 to 200 price point, so it's a really good deal. Right, moving right along here, another Zodiac. This is a watch so nice, I bought it twice. I had a Grand Hydra originally, and I gave it to my cousin as a gift and immediately missed it, so I got another one. The Grand Hydra is a really cool design. It's based off of Zodiac's classic Sea Dragon, just in a quartz form. And I love quartz. I have no issues with quartz, so I'm always happy to add more quartz to the collection. But yeah, just a really beautiful, elegant, everyday watch that can jump into dress styling if you're going to, like, you know, something formal. But yeah, just love it. Love that red seconds hand. Love the tonneau case shape. Again, 70s influence here, and I love that look. If you don't love that look, Zodiac's probably not going to be one of your go-to brands, but they are one of mine. All right, we have here a Seiko, my first automatic. This is the Seiko S&ZH53. Very clearly based off of the Blancpain 50 Fathoms. Awesome little bezel here. It is very light, as you would expect from queso. I just said queso. As you would expect from Seiko. But yeah, it's a very cool watch. I still wear the heck out of it to this day. These Seiko movements are nearly unkillable. And yeah, I did put on a ceramic bezel. That's the only real mod that I've done to this one, but I think it looks killer. Okay, so that was the everyday watch, or everyday watch. That was the go-to watches case. Let's close this up here. Thank you again, Walsh, for that, buddy. I love this case. It's perfect for what I use it for. Here's the kind of main case. There's a lot of oldies in here, but we're gonna go through them. Okay, first up here, this is a Casio Duro. The Duro is an exceptional watch for around 40 to 50 bucks. It is a 200-meter quartz diver, and let me tell you, this thing is dialed in. It is a big watch, however. It's 44 millimeters, so I'm a small-wristed guy. I just don't care. I still wear big watches. But if you do care about that, yeah, this thing does wear big. However, with these new bracelets, this bracelet was available from Long Island Watch, fitted to the Duro with solid end links and solid links throughout. It wears a little bit better than just putting it on a strap. Incredible bezel action. I swear to you, it's just as good as my Squall. Awesome bezel action. I just love it. And I have dove the Duro, and it did great. So yeah, it's a cool watch, and I think getting one of the bracelet options, there's a Jubilee option and an Oyster option available at Island Watch. I really think it classes it up, and you're still coming in like barely over or right under $100, which to me is just insane. So yeah, awesome watch, the Casio Duro. Let's just set that one right here. Here's one of my go-to dress watches. I don't wear dress watches very often because just the need in my life doesn't arise too often, but this is the Orient Bambino Small Seconds. I really like this one a lot because it shares a lot of design commonalities with the Omega Ranchero, which is a kind of a legendary, and maybe not legendary, but it's just a really special watch that you don't see very often, and it's never going to be something I can afford. So I appreciate that Orient made this design to kind of mimic that. I believe the size here is 41 millimeters, a little bit larger than I would have liked, but for a dress watch, but still, I don't care that much. It's a beautiful, beautiful watch. Graphite dial. There's also a champagne dial available that's really beautiful. Okay, let's tuck that one away, and moving right along here. This was a Christmas gift, I think, from my in-laws. This is, oh gosh, a Parnis Big Pilot. It's a Chinese ripoff of well, not a ripoff, it's a Chinese homage of an IWC Big Pilot. Sapphire glass, beautiful manual line movement back there. And these are like, I think 80 bucks, well, at least when they were when they got it for me. But yeah, it's got a really nice, I don't know if that's coming up, let me pull it over here. Yeah, really nice ratchety hand winding to it. And yeah, it's just a super attractive design, and I always wanted to experience kind of that Big Pilot aesthetic, and I will never be able to afford an IWC, so that's the solution. Love that watch. I don't wear it as much as I should, but it's a great one. Casio not the F91W, I think this is the 217WH or something like that. It's a reinvention of the F91W, Casio's most classic design, most famous design. And yeah, it's not a whole lot to say. It's got that 80s aesthetic. It's got that Casio durability, just that quartz accuracy and super functionality. There's a whole bunch of modes on here that we're not going to go through. But I just love the way it looks. When I'm in an 80s kind of vibe, I wear this watch. Great workout watch, great outdoor activities watch. If you're going hiking or you're doing the yard work, it's a good one. Yeah, and it looks cool. I really like the gold accents. I think the black and gold work really well together. Moving right along. Okay, this one is one that I picked up on eBay eons ago. This is a Timex 3 GMT. They don't make them anymore, and they're hard to find now. But even if you do find them, I don't think they're terribly expensive. So what we see here, it's a collar GMT. It's a quartz as well, and it's got a nice GMT bezel here. It's not bidirectional, it's unidirectional, which is kind of a bummer, but it's still good. It's a good ratchety action. And it's a big boy though. I believe this comes out to, actually I think it comes out to 47, but that's because it's got this dog bowl shape. Really at the face of the watch you're looking at like 44. So again, it wears like the Duro. It's just a big one, but if you're cool with wearing big watches, you're gonna be fine. And yeah, it's just that I love the appearance of the dial. It has that kind of, what's the one I'm thinking of? The Rolex. Y'all, I'm sure y'all know. The Explorer 2, baby, is what I'm thinking of. It's got that aesthetic, and yeah, I just think it's super attractive. I wore this one on a 2-week motorcycle trip through Canada, and it did an excellent job. Oh, here, this one hurts me. This is another Zodiac. I got this one on a whim because it was an extremely good deal on the Bay, and come on, come out of there. Come on, good grief. And I love it. I love this watch, but not long ago I went to wear it. I wore it a lot. This is my motorcycle watch when I'm riding my bike, but look at that date window. So I'm sure you all know there's a rule about changing the date on a watch. You never change the date between like 9 p.m. and 4 a.m. because it could mess up the date wheel or the process of the date wheel turning. I've never did that with this, and then one day I got up to put it on and I noticed the date was stuck. And I didn't try to change it with the quick set. I just pulled the timer out and pulled the crown out and tried to move the time, and it just was really not working right. And then it just totally stopped. So still pretty bummed out. As you can see, it's still ticking away. But yeah, I gotta get it fixed. It's a thick boy, but I do love the chronograph on this. Again, the 70s styling that Zodiac is known for. Yeah, just a cool watch, and I need to get it fixed. Shouldn't be too hard to do. I'm not confident enough in working on watches to try it myself, though. This is an Invicta. It was the first gift watch from my wife. It's a very cool Flieger style watch. It's got a, what do you call that, a pie pan dial? I can't remember when they have the cutout dial. Yeah, really cool design. It's got the date at the top, or the day at the top, date at the bottom. Very similar to a Hamilton design. I don't have a battery in it right now. I need to put a new battery in because it's, but people like to hate on Invicta. I don't really have anything against them. It's a cool watch. A big boy again, coming in at 44, I believe. And this is just an aftermarket strap. But yeah, the Invicta, whatever. Here's my favorite Airman watch. This is an Aran Type 20. Design is based off of a very old watch that was given to French, I think it was like the French Air Force pilots. I can't remember what branch of the military. But yeah, you got this awesome countdown bezel. Great action on it too. Yeah, this is a quartz model. Now there is a current model out there for significantly more money that is a hand wind. But this one has a wonderful Seiko quartz, mecha quartz movement in it. So it's a quartz movement that kind of tries to have the appearance of a mechanical movement. You can see that second hand, it does still tick, but it ticks far less than a typical chronograph, typical quartz chronograph. And then watch this, it's got a snapback action as well. Boom, love that, God. So yeah, this is, at the moment, this is my favorite chrono. I wear it quite a lot, and I also like this sort of airman layout. I think looks really good. Kind of reminds me of a Glycine sometimes, but yeah, very cool watch. The Aran Type 20, the quartz one. You can get these, if you're having a lucky day, you can get these between $150 and $200 on eBay. I got mine for like $90. I'm so happy about that. All right, up next, another Father's Day gift. I believe this was my third Father's Day gift from my wife. The Seiko SZSB015. This is a very versatile Seiko that can drop into dress or everyday. Sorry about that, guys. Just had to delete a bunch of stuff off my phone. Totally lost my momentum there. Okay, so we were talking about this Seiko SZSB015. As I said, it was a third Father's Day gift, I think, from my wife. This is the spiritual successor to the Sarb. I can't remember which Sarb it was. Maybe the 33. I can't remember. But yeah, just a great little classy watch. It's great for everyday and can also be worn for dressy occasions. And it's got a very interesting case design. It kind of looks like a UFO to me. I really dig it. I like the Cyclops. I know some people hate it. But yeah, really wonderful little watch. 4R35 in there. Just one of Seiko's indestructible automatic movements. I've got it here on a Zelos leather strap, and I think it looks the bee's knees. So yeah, let's keep on moving here. Keep on rolling along. Oh yeah, this is about a 40 millimeter, I believe. Yeah, just a really pretty everyday kind of watch. Now this one is the second Father's Day gift from my wife. I don't know what this is. It's a Seiko Solar Sapphire is what people tend to call it. I don't know the reference number. But really excellent solar quartz watch. It's amazing actually, because it'll run down after about, I don't know how long of not wearing it. The power will run down, but you stick it in the window for like an afternoon, and it juices back up, and it's good to go for a long time. But yeah, I really love that green dial with the gold accents. I stole this bracelet. Actually, I think I bought it separately. Somebody was just selling a random Seiko bracelet, and it fits it really well, and I think it just looks great with this profile. So yeah, great little quartz watch with a sapphire crystal. You can't argue with that. And let's get this one back up there. We're almost done, guys. Wow. Sorry I sped through this, y'all, but I know it's one of those things that if I get bogged down, this is going to be a 1-hour video. First watch that my father-in-law gave me. As y'all can tell, he is a watch guy as well. This is a Seiko chronograph. I don't know the reference number on this one, but it's really cool because it's full titanium. Beautiful gold accents with these kind of, not diamonds, but these nice white indices. They're very, almost crystalline looking. But yeah, very attractive watch. Clearly meant to be like kind of a dress chronograph. And typically I'm not one for two-tone, but I think it looks really good with the darker matte finish that titanium has. And it's got that similar mecha quartz movement that we saw in the Aran. But it does not have the snapback on this one, though. This one very cleanly glides around. But yeah, super attractive little watch. He gave it to me because he just didn't wear it anymore. I think because he, it's seen some wear, and I think he just, he was ready to move on. All right, last one we got here is an Invicta. This was also a watch from him. He bought it for a relative, but when it arrived, he didn't realize how small it was going to be. And I'm like, hey, dude, I got wrists that'll fit a watch this size, so I took it off his hands for fun. I may dive this one for the heck of it, but ooh, man, that bezel does not want to turn. It's this funky scalloped bezel. But, again, say what you will about Invictas, but you know what? They're affordable and they work. And they're attractive designs, clearly, riffing off Rolex quite a bit, but still. But yeah, it's a neat little diver. Kind of has a vintagey Submariner thing going on, except for that bezel, odd bezel, almost more of like an Omega type bezel. But yeah, that's the Invicta something or other. I've got it on a Timex nylon strap that I actually quite like, and I think again goes with the vintage appeal. And a nice little size at like 36, I think. It's one of the smallest watches I own, but I love it, man. I love the size that is. I don't wear this one like ever, but one day I might, just for I was going to say a bad word, but just for kicks and giggles. Yeah, let's say that. Well, thank you guys for joining. I know this was a weird little trip, especially if y'all are here for knives. But if you guys want more watch stuff, please let me know in the comments. If you hated this, please let me know. And we'll steer away from watches. But yeah, if you're into it, I'd love to do a deep dive on any number of these watches. And like I said, if y'all are digging it, I am very definitely thinking about doing a video on, ooh, lordy, a video on high value quartz like this G-Shock. All right, guys, thanks so much. And please like, subscribe, all that, all that junk. And we will see you next time.